Hello, and welcome to the Real Stuff Learning Challenges YouTube channel. Our goal here is to give you real life learning opportunities that are fun, easy to do on your own, and meet learning standards. Thanks for checking us out. Happy learning.
Okay. Liv, you got way too many shirts. No, I don't. I only have like 6. More like 60, 100. Yeah, right. I'm bored anyways. After laundry, we could always count them.
Yeah.
It's not like you only have 2 socks. You have like 500.
No, more like 7.
Hi, boys and girls. My name is Mrs. Farrell, and I have a learning challenge for you today. Today's mission is to create a clothing inventory and a bar graph to show the information. To do this, you'll need access to your clothing, a ruler, a pencil, things to write and color with, and paper that's lined or graph paper. You ready to go? Let's do it. All right, step 1 is to go to your room and look at all your clothes. Try to figure out what categories of clothing you have. Do you have t-shirts, dress shirts, pants, PJs, whatever? When you have those categories figured out, write them on the left-hand side of your paper. The next thing you're going to do is use tally marks to count. Now you need to have a very careful system when you're counting. Maybe in your closet, go from left to right. If you're doing drawers, go from top to bottom. And every time you get to a new piece of clothing, put a mark, which we call a tally mark, on your paper beside that category. Now after you make 4 tally marks in a row, your 5th tally mark goes sideways. That way later on, we can easily count up our tally marks by groups of 5. After you've finished counting all of your clothes and marking down your tally marks on your sheet, now it's time to count it all up. You can easily do this by counting in groups of 5. So for t-shirts, for instance, I had 5, then 10, and 3 more. So I have 13 altogether. So I'm going to put the number 13 in front of that category and circle it so that I'll clearly be able to tell how much of each item I have counted. All right, your next step is to make your bar graph. To do this, you'll need your ruler, your paper, your pencil, and your pencil crayons. Now, there are 2 different lines on a bar graph that are very important to know. The bottom line, which goes horizontally, is called the x-axis. And the vertical line that goes up and down like this is called the y-axis. Now, for our bar graph, on the x-axis, this is going to be where we list the different types of clothing that you have. And the heading for this will be types of clothing. I've written it here on the very bottom. On the y-axis, the heading is amounts of items. And I wrote this here on the side. Notice how I wrote it sideways so it doesn't get in the way of anything else, and it can clearly go with the numbers on the side. Now you have to take a close look at the amount of clothing items that you have per category. For instance, if you have 50 socks, then your number range needs to go from 0 all the way up to 50. If the maximum amount of items that you have is only 20, then your number range will only go from 0 to 20. All right, the next thing we need to do is write down the types of clothing on the x-axis. Notice how I'm writing the names sideways. That's so that I can clearly identify that t-shirts would go with this bar graph. The next thing you want to do is draw a horizontal line at the appropriate number for each category. So I'll look on my tally mark sheet and see how many t-shirts were there. There are 13. So I go up and I follow the numbers on the side and I see 13. I'm going to get my ruler and draw a line right at 13. You're going to go through and do the same thing now for each of the other categories and draw your horizontal lines to show where the top of the bar graph needs to go. Okay, now that you have all of your amounts listed on the top of your bar graph, you can go ahead and make your bars. If you have graph paper, this will be a lot easier. If you don't, and you're like me, you'll have to be very careful with your ruler. So you get your ruler straight down, make the sides of your bar graph, and the bars here equal, and do this as an outline for the rest of your bars. After you have all the outlines of your bars done, and get your colored pencils. You want to use different colored pencils so they contrast with one another. And then go ahead and shade in your bars. As you can see, when you're done, you'll be able to easily look at your bar graph and tell what the information is.
Hey guys, now that you're a bar graph champ, why not make a bar graph of something else in your home? Maybe shoes, canned goods? Think of something. Until next time, bye!